Welcome to the Devoted Way podcast, all about magic and miracles with me, Sora Schilling. It's time to hone in on your intuition, become artful, respectful, and nuanced with your relationship with energy, and live life based on your design. Your unique blueprint encoded with stardust from the ethereal realm and blood from those that have come before you. You know what to do and how to be, so trust in yourself. Hello, everyone. So good to have you here. So today I'm here to share a little bit about the power of quizzes in the coaching industry and the transformative experience that Create Your Own Quiz can have. So Create Your Own Quiz was something that I birthed last year, winter of 2022. And the reason I decided to craft this experience was because until that point, I was flabbergasted at how incredible my quiz was going. To be honest, for over 8-9 years, I had a really hard time gathering momentum when it came to building my list. And so I was hovering, even at 8 years or so, I was hovering over that 4,000, 5,000 mark of subscribers on my email list. And that's not to say that that isn't anything big. Like, to have even 5,000 folks on my email list and folks that wanted to participate and engage and be a part of my business community was fabulous. But it was a little disheartening in the fact that I had been working so hard doing all of these different strategies, and I was still constantly hovering over that mark. And I firstly want to say that numbers is not everything, right? That's not the case. It's more so that I had been in business for a while now, that I was curious around what would it take for me to shift my mindset and my understanding around business while honoring myself as a projector, to see if there's a way that I could grow that list of mine that was hovering at the 5,000 mark to over 10,000. It was just something I wanted to play with, right? And so I went on this intuitive hit, this journey, because I'm a splenic projector. I had this intuitive hit that I wanted to learn very quietly what it meant to build out a quiz as a funnel. And one of the things that I do as a projector is I very quietly work on things and study on things that no one else knows it's happening until I'm ready to share it out there in the world, right? And so I'm constantly in the background learning and doing these things, and no one would know. And so it's always so surprising when folks would be like, Sora, how do you just whip things out there and look at all these new things you're doing, and that looks really beautiful and all that. And I often have to say, but I spent hours in the background working on this, right? This isn't something that just magically appeared. And so I was diligently studying upon quizzes. And one of the things that I found was that I absolutely loved creating a quiz. I found it to be super creative. And so I spent probably over $2,000, maybe close to $3,000 on a quiz course, so I can learn all of the different things that was required to build out a quiz funnel. And one of the things that I realized is the reason that this was such a rising sense of popularity, why quizzes were something that a lot of coaches and healers had created, was because, number one, it improves your ability to understand your clients more. And so why wouldn't you want to do that when you get to understand not only the clients that you currently have, the clients that you have served before, but the clients you are calling in to serve very shortly? It also helped with engagement, meaning I was engaging with my community more as I was starting to feel into these different archetypal energies that I was connecting with and creating, as well as ways I could see how I can engage on socials and through newsletters based on my quiz. Like, all of a sudden, that made a lot of sense, right? And then lastly, there was a sense of being able to even segment and understand my clients in these particular pockets that would mean I would be able to serve them better. And I'll speak a little bit about that later as well. How having archetypal energies actually helps supports your clients, not just from a broad stroke of these people that you're calling in, but in a very sacred way, personalizing based on the archetypal energies. And so the best part of me going into this world of quizzes, and this is just true for everything I do, because in human design, I'm also a 6-2. I'm a role model hermit, which means my 3 is really alive. So I'm the person who will try everything and understand it all, and then break a couple of things and make things a little bit digestible so that I can help support others in a way that feels really graceful without you having to do all of the hardships of things that I did, right? I try to make it a lot easier for you. And so one of the best things that I realized at the end of creating my quiz was that it helped me cultivate a deeper understanding of growth and growth potential in my clients. And therefore, I was able to feel even more confident in my coaching practice. Okay. I'm going to say that again. My archetypes helped me become that much more confident in my space holding abilities and my 100% belief that I could help a person engage with their inner selves so that they can honor and have self-agency and have profound growth and transformation, all from having these archetypes. So it's not just about building a list. It's about a deep understanding of these archetypes and how they will help in your coaching or healing practice. That's the piece that profoundly changed me, the way I showed up, and my business. And so the first thing is, if we went through, for those of you that are in my world, I speak a lot about blooming and blossoming and flowers and all sorts of things. So firstly, if we look at this through the lens of that as a metaphor, this is a garden of insight. And so what I mean by that is each of the archetypes you create, right? Because you will create your specific archetypes that will support your clients. And so they will honor possibly the 12 foundational archetypes of Carl Jung, but then you're going to add your flavor to, let's say, 4 to 5 of them, and they become your compass. And so you begin to understand your clients' fears, their desires, their needs, their motivations, their patterns and their stories and their behaviors. And the reason why that's so important is that no longer do you find yourself feeling that you need to rescue someone or feel the fears that you're going to be with someone that you can't hold space for, or that you're worried that their energy is too much. But instead, you get to see these folks in a pure sense of empathy. And what I mean by that is to have empathy is not to put yourself in someone's shoes and take on their energy and be them. That is not empathy. Empathy is your ability to actually separate yourself from this person. So it's not about you and your stories and your perception through your lens of what they're experiencing, but actually being able to honor them as a sovereign being and saying, wow, I get that. And I get why you're feeling that. I'm not taking it on. I don't need to do anything about that. Thank you so much for being there with that, right? I find that often we get really confused about being highly sensitive, empathic, and that means that we take on everyone's energy and we look through the lens of our own eyes, and we create all this story and all this experience that we're having. And it has nothing to do with the person in front of us, which means that we were not reverent. We did not see this person in their highest divine self, having their own human experience, and we took it away from them. And that's not cool, right? And so therefore, we get to really honor that the archetypes help us as a compass, allowing us to be here and ourselves in our body, and they and our clients and potential clients to be out here without this intermingling of energy as if you need to save them and rescue them just because you're a coach or a healer. So instead, you get to honor the motivations of their core fears and desires and cultivate what? A very deep and meaningful connection. Right. So the other reason why this is so amazing and why having a quiz in archetypes is so great is it customizes the care that you're going to provide to these individual clients. And when you are speaking to the masses, right, of all of these divine folks, it helps them feel like you are speaking to them individually, even though you're speaking to a general public. And so just like someone who's skilled at and has, let's say, medicine around plants and how to tend to the needs of flowers and plants, you're tending to the needs of your clients' archetypes, which enables you to ensure that when you are holding space for these beings, that there is a way in which you're meeting the energy that is very much uniquely about that archetype rather than a broad stroke. Right. And so you get to, let's say, when you're working one-on-one with each of these folks, instead of having only your quote go-to strategies, your go-to practices that have helped you, again, it's not about you. And so even in our industry, a lot of times as solopreneurs or as coaches and healers, you hear a lot of business coaches or people that have moved through an experience say, oh, your clients are just, 6 months behind you. And so as long as you know your strategies, you can have it implemented and it'll work for them. And I say yes and no. Having the strategies that you used as a launch pad to get them curious around what may work for them, absolutely, for sure. But if you were to say this is the tried and true method that's going to help all of these folks, and they have all of these different archetypal energies, these different core wounds, these different desires, these different patterns that have prevented them from moving forward, I'd say maybe not so much, right? Which is why probably for all of you too, you've gotten into the space of saying, oh, I don't know who I'm going to get support from because I feel like everyone talks about the tried and true method, but I all the time sign up for something and it doesn't work. So when am I going to be able to find someone who's going to be able to tailor something to my needs? Exactly, right? And so these archetypal energies help with that customized care. Archetypal energies also help with unrooting the limiting beliefs that are preventing your clients from continuing to move forward. And so what you get to do is help support them in addressing and putting light to all of those different stories that have been rooted deep in their system. And you're helping them weed that out, not from a place, again, of generic questions, but very much by looking at each of the archetypal energies and noticing how they show up, right? It becomes this really amazing space of research and investigation that you do based on the folks that you serve, the folks that you have served before. And if this is brand new to you, it helps you start looking at it from a sense of what have you started, what have you studied, what books have you read, what have you noticed? And if you come into create your magical quiz, you have a whole slew of people that you can ask, right? Even if you don't have clients or customers, you will have 20 plus people that are your ideal clients, and you'll be able to ask them the questions that are required for you to get to know your potential clients even more to help guide them in their growth. Okay. Next, the language of blooming hearts. And so archetypal energies provide a shared language because it provides a shared understanding of what is the collective unconscious. And so what I notice, for example, is for our devoted archetypes, right, which are compassionate healer, prolific alchemist, enchanting weaver, and sovereign warrior. When I'm working with my students inside a devoted energy coaching school or leading luminous circles and retreats, I often bring up the archetypal energies, or my students do. And they're like, yep, that's totally my sovereign warrior. Or I'm wondering if my client is coming in as an enchanting weaver, how can I support them to go into energy space? And so there's this common language that we are using, and we get to explore these particular avenues to help support my students in growing and deepening as they are space holders and energy coaches, so that they could hold all of these various diverse beings inside of the same space. And so that's what happens with your own archetypes. You begin to have a common language and a space of study for each of those that enter into your space in your community. Okay. The next part is also really important, which is the way that you stand out in the crowd is to have this embodiment of authority. right? And authority, you will move through your own stories around them, around not being good enough, not knowing enough, not being in the industry long enough, like whatever it is. But to be honest, for me, I find that the archetypes help you no matter what. Find that you do have this confidence in yourself to be able to be out there in the world talking about what you know. And what you know is based on your lived experience, based on the research and education of you and the personal growth and self study you have in the area in which you are holding space for. And so you have information. And so this confidence that you have around you is naturally there, especially when you speak about archetypal energies that are specific to you. So instead of me regurgitating information that I've studied based on Jungian's like 12 archetypal energies, and then me feeling like a fraud, when I speak about devoted archetypes, I'm very clear that these devoted archetypes are ones that I know really well, that are based on my experience with my clients, and no one can take that away from me. And so I find that I do have authority in that. I'm truly confident in it. And so when anyone asks me a question around the archetypes, or how do I hold a space for this kind of archetype in my coaching or in a circle or on retreat, I have an answer. And so I find that I feel deeply confident in this. And so that authority is absolutely there and a full embodiment without me having to fake it or try hard in being that, because I am it. I am a leading authority in the 4 archetypal energies that I have co-created based on my clients. No one can take that away, right? So another amazing reason why having archetypes and having a quiz is so important. Lastly, it embraces the wholeness of nature, meaning that as you begin to notice these different community members, all of these different unique soul essences of your beings that are here helping and supporting the earth that you are supporting as clients, you begin to notice that not only is every single person unique and diverse in their own sense, but they bring together this communal sense of an incredible, diverse ecosystem, which is your business community. And so all the different floras, all the different flowers, all the different rich soils, the different stories, the different ways that they engage with one another help supports bring rich and meaningful connection. And therefore, then the healing that takes place is that second, deep, meaningful, rich sense of healing, which is a communal sense of healing that you can only do oh so much by yourself in your personal healing. The healing that truly takes place is when you are you with another. Because that's when you see if the work you've been doing is just conceptually something you've understood, or you've actually moved through it and now you have a profound understanding because you're living, breathing, and an embodiment of it. And so together with your community, based on these archetypal energies that harmoniously come into one, they help you find the space of discovery and acceptance and wholeness and collective consciousness that has to do with not just the individual clients, but the collective as a whole that has to do with you and the way that you serve your community. So with that being said, I invite you to consider joining Create Your Magical Quiz. Create Your Magical Quiz is here to help transform your business by allowing you to have more followers on social media, to have an increase of subscribers on your newsletter list, and to help you ultimately gain more coaching clients. And the way you do this is that by having a quiz, it's a qualifier, meaning as someone is going through the quiz, they are naturally getting to know your energy. And if they don't like it, they're not going to finish the quiz. Why is that a good thing? Because they're not going to be your ideal community members. Right? But if as they're going through the quiz, they're enjoying themselves, they go through it, they even put their name and email address. I mean, that's a big deal in this day and age to get someone's email address. The fact that they did it meant that they enjoyed the experience. That's opening one door right there. And then as they go and they immediately get put onto this results page, and then they read it, and let's say they open the first welcome email and the second, oh my gosh, they're 50% in right there. Because not only did they want the results, now they want to hear from you, and they're reading your emails. And so that in itself means now they're even that much more prepared for something else that you are inviting them into. The other reason why that is so important is then that just continues their journey into potentially then paying or purchasing something that you offer. So that's one amazing reason. The other is your quiz can go viral, right? Viral meaning, yes, it can maybe reach many, many people, or it'll be shared. I've had many folks share with me that they ended up on the quiz because someone shared it with someone who shared it with someone who shared it with someone. Now, am I going to know all the different ways that people have shared this? Absolutely not. But it also means that it's free marketing and advertising because I'm not the only one sharing. It means that someone had a great experience. They thought this was a blast and informative, and they wanted their friend or their community members to also take the quiz. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Now, the other great part of creating your magical quiz, this 5-day course, this amazing epic journey and experience, is that the entire time, not only will you learn the sacred foundational understanding of business in general, so that you get to honor how you want to your way do business, but also you get to learn the different ways in which I easily craft everything, including using AI. So I will give you tips and different ways of using ChatGPT in a way that is sacred, that feels aligned with you, and that helps enhances your ability to no longer be in fear and paralysis, but to actually get your stuff out there in the world. And so that's why I love using tools. And so we will step by step go through certain tools to help support you in the experience. And so the benefits around this includes getting to know your clients really, really well. How often have you done a business course or a branding course or any sort of courses and they say, who is your avatar? Are you doing market research? Do you know your ideal clients? What's their age? Where do they shop? What are their fears? What's keeping up at them at night? And you basically take that chapter and you're like, I'll go through that some other time. Where's the juicy bit about the thing that I really want to know about? Even though everyone says you must do this, it's really important, do it. And you're like, I don't really want to do this. This is really hard. How am I supposed to niche down when I just want to help everyone, right? And so therefore, one of the things that's really great about Create Your Magical Quiz, which I've heard over and over from students, is that this is an epic way of getting to know your ideal clients. And it's easy. It actually doesn't have to be that hard. And so I will help you get to know your clients, right? And it'll be super gentle. Don't worry. You won't desire to fully skip it. Okay. The other is you're going to land on your quiz result page so that it is so spectacular that people are going to drool over it and have to email you being like, wow, that is not what I expected. Thank you so much. Right. Also, we're going to help you build everything out, not only your quiz result page, but the actual quiz, the questions that will be a part of it, and the archetypes that you will have that are personal to you, as well as the emails and this nurturing sequence that goes along with it. That includes what you're inviting them into, AKA what are you selling? Because it's great to have someone in your email, but it's also really important for them to know what else you do, and maybe they'd like to purchase something that you have. Okay. And the other last thing is that you'll be able to confidently market your quiz, and not only market your quiz, but have so much information that you will be able to use as part of your newsletters and your socials that you'll feel like a weight has been lifted, and you'll realize that actually crafting all of your content for your marketing and for your connection to your community does not have to be that hard, and you're ready to do it because you're so inspired. So during our 5 days together, you will receive every day we will come and join on Zoom. And during that hour, I will be teaching and we'll be co-working, meaning you'll be doing stuff simultaneously while I am explaining. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in regards to you will receive this kind of Google document that you'll be copied. And then when you have this, we're going to go through each of the different things and you are going to move through this experience alongside me. Now, I'm not going to show you because that's part of the actual course content. And so you will get to see it once we come inside of the container. Okay. So that will be there for you, which is 5 playbooks that are extensive workbooks that you will be using to get your quiz done. You will also have 5 Zoom calls with me together. Every day we will show up. Now, does that mean if you can't show up that that's it? No, of course there will be a replay, and you have this for however long, right? You have this for years to come, so you can come back to it over and over again. In addition, every time we hold this live, you can join the live version so that you can create a new quiz or update your quiz or complete your quiz or whatever else that you'd like to do, or because you just like to have fun with this and see how this could ignite some additional information for you and your business so that you want to come together as a group. That's great as well. You'll also have an online coven space that helps with you not only receiving support from me, but from your fellow quiz creators. And the reason that's important is because your quiz gets created by you understanding your community, which means you need people. So therefore, for those of you who feel like you're starting off or you don't know your community or you don't have a community, you don't have clients, this, right? Often why you don't do the market research is because you're like, I don't know who to turn to. But in this space, you will have so many people you can turn to. You have access to folks that will help support you in you doing your market research. And so that to me is key right there and why this is so valuable. Not only that, you'll each help each other with the language, with your archetype names, all of those things. And so I highly suggest this. In addition to that, not only do you receive support, you also begin to realize I've got something to offer. I too have opinions. I too have a really amazing brain. I too can strategize. I too can provide support and provide information. And why that's important is because you begin to change your mindset in thinking that you're not enough, you're not valuable, you don't have information, you're not prepared, you don't. We can start letting that go based on you be able to see for yourself, having proof, wow, I have helped this person. And look what has happened by me just sharing my own thoughts and feelings or intuitive hits, right? All right. Nextly, you get some bonuses. Isn't that so great? Yay. Okay, so the bonuses that you get are the following. You will get a done-for-you quiz creation service and toolkit. And so what this means is that your quiz creation, there'll be some things that you may need. And so we will be providing you some of that stuff. In addition to that, you will receive support with getting the actual back end of your quiz done. So you don't have to go in there trying to figure it all. It will be done for you. So we will work together and then the actual quiz creation will be done for you if you use Try Interact. Okay. So that's a quiz platform that many of us who have quizzes use. In addition, you'll get an ultimate content creation toolkit. And so this is going to help you create your content. Right. In addition to that, you will have the amazing Catherine Phillips, who will help support you in your messaging. And so not only will have a toolkit to help you, but you're going to have a living, being amazing energy coach there supporting you in this as well. You'll also get group energy coaching. And why that is so important is there are going to be moments where you feel like you're stuck, you're resistant, you feel overwhelmed, you feel anxious, you're confused, all sorts of different things. And it has nothing to do with you actually not knowing what to do next. It has everything to do with your emotional, energetic, or mental ability to see the vision come to life. And so therefore, energy coaching with Whitney Wallach is going to help support you in this as well with Whitney Lynn. Okay. All right. And then the next thing you'll get is group expert tech support. So Anna Maria James is going to help you with any of the tech challenges you might be having. So if you feel like, I'm not that tech savvy and I don't understand how this is going to talk to this and how this is going to talk to this, because things actually have to connect, and that's not something that you've ever done before, then we will provide you with information, tutorials, and Anna Maria will help you in regards to just seeing what are the things that are not necessarily speaking to one another. To be honest, for me, I spent hours figuring this out and I did it all by myself. And so I don't want that to happen for you. I don't want you to spend hours by yourself trying to figure it out, which I did at that time. And I clearly still remember it. Okay. But the best part about that is I also know what needs to happen. And so therefore, that helps me help you as well. So you are welcome. All right. So lastly, I'm going to share with you some screenshots of what other folks have said when it comes to create your magical quiz. And the reason being is, yeah, sure, I can tell you all the benefits, but if you're still hesitant or you're feeling like, well, has anyone actually gone through this experience, or is Sora just talking out of her ass? Like, what is actually happening here? I don't know Sora very well yet. Then I will provide you with some proof. Okay. All right, cool. So here is some proof. This is all taken inside of our online coven space. Okay, so they're screenshots. I didn't put names because I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to show you a screenshot of what happened inside of our Discord group. So, I love today so much. I'm so excited to fill in these little boxes with answers for my archetypes. Also bringing the world together to make archetypes is going to be so much fun, right? Wow, Sora, what an epic session day 2 was. I love drilling down into 4 specific clients and identifying all their beautiful traits to begin to define the archetypes for a quiz. I'm feeling a big energy shift around attracting the right clients now. I was always a bit worried about attracting the quote right clients before and being able to meet their expectations. Now I feel like I'm getting more clear on the types of clients that feel yummy to serve. Love, 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 love. Today felt like an opening. I'm surprised by the ideas that are already igniting. I had no idea how I was possibly going to create a quiz, and I'm filled with possibilities. Thank you, Sora, for activating brilliance always. This is awesome. All the feels. Today made me feel like I could really do this, that I could really create a quiz. It's been in my awareness for a while now, but I felt like it's far out of my reach, and that I didn't have the skills, the clarity, the confidence to actually craft such an incredible resource. But my word, this playbook is so good. Okay. Next, I've already created several quizzes. The first one was 3 years ago, but I'm coming with a total beginner's mindset, as if I forgot how to do it. And I love being guided by you, magical being. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to reinvent my quiz and serve my sisterhood in the best way possible. I'm delighted to be in your energy again, Sora. Love how this is going and the joy of being in the process. Already spent some time doing, quote, market research and looking forward to it. Love how you weave things together. Playing catch up today as I've been sick this week, and my playful heart is already blown wide open from the first day. Sora, I feel like I'm coming home and playing with a kindred spirit who knows me oh so well and knows how to delight and enchant the quote hard work out of me. Already this process feels joyous and delicious. And lastly, dear Sora, I admire your ability to say with love, I hear you. For the sake of time, be precise. I feel you making the effort to stay with your principles, your prime directives in all of the various groups and programs that you run. I admire this about you. This is what I received from co-working and also some valuable information about how I might process with new tools. All right, so those were some feedback, some testimonials. These were not just specific testimonials that I asked for, but rather this is all the folks inside of Create Your Magical Quiz engaging with me in real time around what their experience was like. And that's the thing that I think I do really well, which is enjoy the experience in real time and help support and inspire you to take action in a really easeful way and feel like you actually can do this because you can. All right, so there's only a limited number of spots available. And so I do invite you that if this is something that you truly desire to do, to join us. So I will provide you the link so that you have that available. And we will be starting very soon in July 3rd for 5 days. And so get yourself in there as soon as possible so that we can get ourselves prepared for us to go through this epic journey. Now, remember, there will be replays available. Everything will be downloadable There's an online community where you can ask your questions. There's an online portal that you will have access to for an unlimited amount of time with all of the information, the recordings. You can download the playbook again. All of that is readily available. And also, you will have ongoing monthly support for no additional cost. So anytime that you have a question, every month, once a month, there will be a Q&A that you can join or fill out your question in a jot form so that if you can't join live, I will answer it. And that way I will look at your quiz. I'll take a look at your emails. I'll take a look at your quiz result page. You just have to give me very specific questions and the links and the information that I need to look it over, and I will serve you the best possible way that I can each month that we are together. So it's endless in regards to how many questions you can ask. Okay. So if you have a strong inclination, if you find yourself curious, please consider this. Now, for those of you who feel like, you know what, I have enough clients and I'm just not sure, but this feels really exciting, or it feels like this could be a thing. Here's my suggestion, which is this. If I'm really booked with my clients, number one, it's awesome to have a wait list. But secondly, I'm here to serve my greater community and grow my community no matter what. Every single person who says yes to being on my email list are sacred divine beings. And if there are any ways that I could freely serve them, I will. And a quiz is one of them, right? And from that quiz, you can create additional freebies or additional offers that are small offers that may be $5, $7, $17, $27, $49, right? And all based on the quiz. This doesn't mean they all have to be your one-on-one clients if that's not what you want, but there are still ways that you can serve your larger community and to make it financially accessible. And part of that way of doing that with ease and grace is to start developing your archetypes. So if you feel like, number one, the summer is for you to learn, join us so that you can learn and create your archetypes, if nothing else. If you feel like you are maxed out with how many clients you can serve, then what if you started to generate additional accessible ways to serve a greater community so that they could still follow along? Because at the end of the day, you might end up then having a membership site or having some other way of being able to serve the larger community without you having to have these individual one-on-one clients. Right? Lastly, if you do desire to have one-on-one clients or create an email list and have some folks on it, then again, this is another really amazing reason why you should join Create Your Magical Quiz. Okay, so that's my strong pitch here in regards to why I really, really feel like you should come and join Create Your Magical Quiz. Create Your Magical Quiz, 5-day experience, begins July 3rd. It goes July 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. It will be for 1 hour each day with an online community and additional Q&As every month. It is a fabulous group so far, and they are raring to go. They're already inspired and have some information and some ideas around what it is they want to do. And we have also the graduates and the alums who have gone through the quiz who are excitedly ready to say hello and welcome you in as well. So go ahead and join us ASAP. It is a blessing to serve you. My deepest desire is to bring nourishment to your soul, activate and enliven your inner landscape, and find inspiration through the sacred stories of others and myself so we remember we are collectively woven. If you would like to learn more about mysticism, spiritual devotion, magic and intuition, sacred leadership, business practices, and devoted energy coaching, please make sure you subscribe to Devoted Way podcast. As I continue to serve, may I humbly ask for a sacred exchange. I would be so appreciative if you would write a love note, otherwise known as a review. Share the episode with your friends and community members, and engage with me on Instagram at Devoted Way. If you have any questions you desire to be answered on Devoted Way podcast, please head over to devotedway.com and send me an email. Stay sacred and discover your path and join the Devoted Way. May magic and miracles occur in your life every day as you co-create a synchronistic new world with the Great Mother. Until next time, this is Sora Schilling.